Libras out there. So please make sure to get the book at Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. The links will be in the description box below. I was having a conversation before I came in and cut the camera on with a family, one of my family members. And, I was explaining to that family member the 3 approaches to a relationship. But let's get into it for the Libras. I feel like sometimes every now and again, I feel like sometimes that I'm in the future, right? And like a lot of people are just, you know what I'm saying? Like it just takes years for them to catch up, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? So the cards I come up with for the Libras: 8 of Pentacles, the Magician, Scorpio got this too, the 8 of Swords, the 3 of Wands, the 10 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Hermit, the Fool, the Justice. Okay, 5 more. You have the Emperor, the Wheel of Fortune, the Strength, the 10 of Wands, and last but not least, we have the King of Wands. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 15 cards are major arcana. Interesting. So, the 8 of Pentacles, the Magician, the 8 of Swords. So you have 2 8 cards, okay? Build and destroy. That's what 8 normally means, or some of the things that the number 8 means. Build and destroy, infinity. These 3 cards kind of, how do I say, you are reflective about the kind of relationships that you've been getting yourselves into recently, right? I say within the past year or 2. And I'm seeing how a lot of the Libras want something different, right? Want something that may last longer, but want something that makes sense, right? Regardless of whether or not you're with someone, you really want something that makes sense for you and it works. The 3 of Wands, so now it's like it's this mental discovery of what kind of relationship do you really want, do you want something where it's monogamous, where there's other people involved, and it's an open relationship, you know what I'm saying? Do you want some F buddies where it's like everybody needs to understand not to take it too personally? And the 10 of Swords is that you're just sick and tired of being in relationships, whatever types of relationships it may be, where it doesn't work out right for you. And you're definitely on the right track, Libras. You're definitely on the right track. The 3 of Pentacles, okay, the 3 of Pentacles is about just kind of like, how do I say, like asking your friends what do they think about those types of relationships. Not necessarily bringing you into it, but asking about what type of relationships would you like. You know what I mean? Would they like, or getting a new perspective on what kind of relationship they get themselves into, and kind of getting a better understanding of what's going on in the dating scene, right? Trying to figure out like what is actually going on. And the Chariot, right, is about wanting to actually go where things work, right? Actually get results. The Hermit now is now about you definitely find out what is popping, what's going on. And the Hermit is now about a dilemma now, because I'll tell you this, to my Libras, what does work is just playing the game. You know what I mean? In the short term, but in the long term, it doesn't work, because it's just people just doing a bunch of useless stuff, and there's no real long-term planning. Not to mention, and that's what's so dangerous about it, is, it's the fact that mistakes happen. You know what I mean? People end up getting hurt, unfortunately, especially if there's not a lot of wisdom. You know, there's not a lot of wise decision making happening. So now you Libras have a decision to make. So the thing is that the Fool, and you do have the Justice, which represents Libra, right? This is about the decision that you make. And the decision that you've made is that you want to be able to go with what works, but also something that may end up working for you, okay? And the decision that you end up making is the Emperor. You don't plan on really playing the game in the short term, because you're seeing that playing the game in the short term is not a very good idea. But see, in order for you to do that though, Libra, you're going to have to do something that not a lot of you Libras are going to want to do. And you're going to have to actually give yourself you're going to have to actually give the person or the people, right, whom you're getting to know, some sort of emotional disposition. Meaning that you're going to have to actually communicate with them. A lot of the times, Libra, Scorpio, Aquarius, Gemini, Capricorn, doesn't like, Sagittarius doesn't like to give people emotional disposition, right? They don't like to communicate what's going on with them. They like to be tough. And for the most part, if you've been around, I've said this in How to Understand Libra series, right? A Libra a lot of times will prefer, and I'm giving away a lot of their secrets, but a lot of the times a Libra will prefer to kind of operate like a computer, because they don't want to feel anything. That's not going to work anymore. Where it literally isn't going to work. Like people, because we're in the age of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius is about you getting, the age of Aquarius, Capricorn, stuff like this is about you getting real. It's about something that, it's not about theory. And what I mean by theory is BS, something that is just like, it's theoretical. It's something that has no real basis in reality, but like we're just talking about it, but it's not actually being put into practice. The age of Aquarius and the age of Capricorn, which is in the next, you know what I'm saying, 2,000 some odd years, is about the idea, but also the actual application of it. So it's not just enough to do that. Why am I saying that for the Libras? What I'm saying is that we're at an era right now, and this is what a lot of people completely misinterpret. But I'm giving you Libras the scoop, is that we're at a time right now where you're gonna have to do that. If you want a relationship, if you want anything, you're gonna have to do that. You can't just, well, I'm gonna not kind of give it my all and I'm gonna be rewarded. It's not time for that. That's what happened when we were in the age of Pisces that ended in the year 2000. The latest 2012. We're not in that era anymore. Now it's time for, if you do it and it's not real, you're not going to get rewarded for it, because you have to sacrifice something in order to actually get something that you want. So if you just stand detached and you're like, I'm not really dealing with this like this, it's not going to work. You have to put your back into it, so to speak. So the thing is that the Wheel of Fortune, right? The Wheel of Fortune, the Strength card, right? So the Emperor is about you deciding that you're going to be patient, right? And you're not, some of you Libras are going to be patient, and you're not going to enter into the short-term game. The Wheel of Fortune and the Strength is about, this is something very, hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead. Anyway, sometimes my cat walks so slow. Anyway, so The Wheel of Fortune is about, this is something that's admirable about you, or admirable. It's actually going to pay off in the long run, right? The Wheel of Fortune is Cancer crabs, okay? It's the Cancer as well as the Chariot card. And remember, Cancer and Capricorn are all about patience, right? And positioning and opportunities and knowing when to strike. But the Strength card is about learning how to control the ego. It's a Leo card, right? The zodiac sign of narcissism when, it's taken out of hand. So this is about how a lot of you Libras understand that there's no real value in playing the game in the long run, right? Yeah, you may end up getting some of your rocks off, but is it really worth it in the end? Especially if you put yourself in line for all these sicknesses, you know what I'm saying? Not to mention, you got a little person being born and stuff like this, that too, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you have all these things, in it that a lot of people aren't addressing. The Ten of Wands and the King of Wands represents how a lot of you Libras, right? Well, the Ten of Wands and the King of Wands is about you stepping up, going from the Ten of Wands to the King of Wands, which is about no one can tell you anything now. No one can tell you Libras anything, because a lot of you Libras are actually practicing something that is admirable. It's, you know what I mean? It's something that not a lot of people would actually choose to do if they had the choice. The majority of the things that's going on is hedonism, essentially. Just letting your basic instincts run wild and not giving anything a second or a third thought at all, not really thinking things through. So the mere fact that a lot of you Libras are like, wait a minute, this ain't gonna end well if you know what I mean, if I just let my basic instincts run wild, it's actually pretty good on you, because you're really actually setting yourself up for success in the later time, right? Like, you got to understand, like, right around now, the birth rate is down. You know what I mean? The birth rate is down across the world, across the planet Earth. And there's a reason for that, is because so many people, the people who are having some fun, is very picky about the people whom they're having fun with. It's like, come on. But so many people are desperate to get that type of fun, right? So for the most part, the thirst is not matching, or the supply is not matching the demand, right? So let's clarify the King of Wands. You have the Ten of Imps, the Eight of Bats, and the Queen of Bats. So, to clarify the King of Wands, yes. So the supply is not matching the demand, right? The Ten of Imps, the Eight of Bats. When you meet a lot of people now, you're gonna find out, my Libras, that not everybody is gonna be up to par. If I'm really being honest with y'all, I can't see. I gotta tiptoe through the tulips on YouTube. That's why it is that you gotta get a personal reading. But I can't really tell you as straightforward and give you as much game as I can privately. But because not a lot of people are really up for it. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people who you're gonna meet is quality. The Queen of Bats is about just make sure that try not to get too caught up with the quality of people whom you're meeting, so that you don't end up like taking things personally and getting into an argument. Because like, you gotta understand, like, getting into arguments and stuff like this and all this drama and stuff like this is really more so by participation. It's like, if someone wants to pick an argument with you, one of the coldest things in the world that I've ever done and I've ever seen other people do is choose not to participate. Someone talks to you crazy, they say something crazy, you're dating someone says something crazy, and you're just like, and they're saying, you know, they finished something that they just said to you, and they're waiting for you to give them a response back so that the two of them can go back and forth, and you're just like, I don't have anything to say. So now it's like they just make themselves look goofy. Let's clarify the justice. The Queen of Imps, the Page of Pumpkins, Six of Bats. Right. Choosing to remain unique. Yes, a lot of people on Earth, the birth rate is going down. Not a lot of people are having a lot of rolling around in the hay, but you're doing it for a specific reason. It's not about heathenism with you. Hedonism. For you, it's about you wanting to meet someone that has a certain level of character, but the problem is, for you, it makes you different, because most people, it's more so about what they can physically get and showboating, right? Treasure, right? Not treasure, but trophy, right? Trying to show off for other people. And that's another thing too that we got to talk about one day. That's really hurting why a lot of people don't end up working out. It's so weird. You're dating someone because you're thinking to yourself, my friends will be impressed by this person. It's so weird. Anyway, the Page of Wands, the Page of Pumpkins, right? Not Wands, Page of Pumpkins, which is Page of Pentacles, is about, again, there's a need for a lot of you Libras to root this type of dating or dating anyone in something real. And the Six of Bats is, but also paying attention to people who not really with it. And if they're not really with it, letting those types of people go, because you realize the futility in dating people who wants to date other people, essentially, for like the whole clout type. Like, look who I'm hanging out with, you know, and that raises my social. It's all just goofy, but that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. Peace.